it's going to involve talking with one person. If you can look around and find some, especially if it's somebody that you didn't already pair up with another time. Can you find somebody that you didn't already pair up with?
I think we're
paired up with?
I think we're odd. I'm happy
Did you go share? Okay, and then Regis needs somebody. You want to pair up with Regis? Okay.
Sure, so I can be.
Okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can do this.
I'll take the teacher's seat.
You just trade places or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring it up.
So, but this is a very specific thing, so get near your partner, get near your partner, okay? All right. Okay.
This will be fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so this,
Sarah.
yeah.
30 seconds to get that text. Why he doesn't get the
We call the Tower of Babel.
Oh, because, oh, okay. Well, so here's the instructions, okay? Well, everybody, take a moment now. If you want to, you can close your eyes, but you don't have to. And begin to recall one of your pleasant events. Just bringing it back into your mind's eye, you know. Maybe you wrote something down and it's like, oh yeah, you know, that little thing that really just kind of brought you a spark of joy. And as you recall it, maybe you can remember, you know, what the situation was, what you saw, if the, you know, what was coming in visually, remembering if there were any other people there, maybe what sounds were there, and remembering how you felt physically in that pleasant event. And maybe even now as you recall it, some of that flavor is still with you, you know, of how you feel during that pleasant event. And now also checking in, well, what emotion or mood was associated with the pleasant event? And as you recall that pleasant event, what's the mood now? You know, what's the mood or emotion? What emotion? And taking a moment just to feel that or recall it. And now, remembering any thoughts that you had during your pleasant event. And a thought would be something like, I like this, or wish I had this more often, or something like that. That might be a thought. And so really recalling that pleasant event. And now taking a breath, letting it go, and opening up your eyes if they've been closed. And so we're going to do something very specific. In your pairs, the first person who's going to talk is going to be the person with the shortest hair. And the other one is going to be the first person listening.
I don't know.
Okay?
You have more than I
And then we're
have.
going to switch.
All right.
So figuring out who's who. Shortest hair is going to go first. Alright?
Say least amount of hair.
But don't say anything yet, okay? You have the least amount of hair. But we figure it out amongst the two of you. But the instructions are very specific. The listener, simply listen. Listen mindfully to just really hear that person and pay attention to that. And the one who's telling, here's what I want you to tell. I would like you to tell what you noticed physically, what you noticed in terms of mood or emotion during your pleasant event, and what thoughts you might have had. Sorry about the marker not working very well, but here's the key, here's the kicker. No story. Do not tell the story of what it was. Dang, what's the matter with that lady? Why does she make us do these things? How do you do that? No, that's why it only takes a few seconds. So if you're the speaker, getting ready to share what you noticed physically, I noticed blah, blah, blah. I noticed the emotion of, I noticed that I had this thought. Okay. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
We want to tell our stories.
I know. Yeah, so we make it a chance to tell our stories, but oh, it's wrong. No, let's see. let's be curious, I know, but Britt, we have our habit of, I'm gonna tell the story. So this, I'm gonna give you an experience that's a little different about it, and we'll just get a chance to learn what the pleasant event was like when we break it down like this, okay? It's gonna be very brief, because there's not that much to say. And I'll ring the bells for the first person to talk, and I'll ring the bells for the second person.
How long do we have?
So the person
Very
listening has to,
No, you
Guess
don't
what
say
it was?
anything.
do they have to guess what?
No. Oh, no, that would be interesting. Like charades, right? We have our mindful charades. No, it's very simple. If the person speaking just says those things, and then we switch. So if the bell doesn't ring and you already want to switch, please go ahead and switch. But it's basically like 3 statements. We've spent so much more time explaining it than it's actually gonna take to do it. All right? So go ahead.
Okay, the physical part was, I was holding something and very precious to me. My thoughts were that I was very happy to do this and very grateful to whoever powers to be, that I'm still capable of
Worry
doing
was
this.
your emotion.
And my thoughts were I would rather not be any other place than what I was doing at that time. Very pleasant event.
I was shocked, I was surprised, and I was very.
Did you finish?
I'm done.
Okay. If you finish, you can switch.
All right,
Okay?
pleasant event,
So you're,
physical, was on an airplane, it was dark, at night, noisy around. I was talking with a fellow on the seat next to me, and he had
okay.
a
Right,
football
I
game
know.
On his phone.
on his cell phone.
Worry and shock.
It was relief,
Oh,
emotional, I don't feel a lot of
that's
emotion.
perfect. That's your turn.
I was happy that I was there doing that, it was very nice. I was happy, the thing about it was, very happy.
And if you
I can't
finish,
even
just
read the
breathe
bottom
together.
That's what your thoughts were at that time.
I was thinking,
Some
boy, this is,
curiosity about
I
this.
was talking with the guy, I was thinking, this is a sharp guy, he's a young guy, he
Everybody
deserves my
finished?
help if I can give it to him, and I can give it to him.
Okay, so that was
Great.
your thought?
That's great.
Okay, all set, wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much. How did it feel to not get to tell the story?
No, we couldn't.
Relief? Oh, you did? Oh. So it was a relief, so the idea to not tell the story, maybe relief, maybe curiosity, and maybe like, oh, we're gonna break the rules, we're gonna do it anyways. Yeah, but just so noticing that. What were some of the things that were noticed in terms of physical sensations during your pleasant event? Just state them, you know?
I was on an airplane, it was dark and it was noisy.
So what was your
hot.
physical sensation? Heat? Too hot?
Yeah, there was some heat.
Okay.
Not so much. The darkness was there, and the noise of an airplane was there.
Oh, so physically a lot of noise.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What other physical sensations?
Intimacy,
How is intimacy felt physically?
forehead to forehead.
Oh, like actually touching.
Yes.
Oh, so physical contact
Yes.
touching.
Yes.
Cool, thank you. Oh, all right. What other physical sensations?
Exhausted, tired.
Exhausted and tired.
Each of us noticed we were smiling.
Oh, so smiles. Wonderful. Great.
Really, I was really smiling.
Yeah, that's great.
With your whole body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything else in terms
I agree
of
with
physical?
that. I had that
Smile.
same, yes.
The real, like the whole being is
Yes.
gonna smile. Okay.
Internal warmth.
An internal warmth. Oh, like a sense of warmth inside of the body. Any other
I
physical?
was actually carrying something that was not a burden, it was a pleasant
To carry.
experience to carry, yes.
Yeah, okay,
I
so
was
good.
yelling at the top of my lungs.
So physical, yeah, so so external, physical. Now, how about moods or emotions? What moods or emotions?
What, emotions?
Moods or emotions during your pleasant. You actually said a bunch of them. I think. Satisfaction,
Happy.
happy,
Love.
Happy and grateful,
love, yeah.
happy and grateful that I was able to do this,
Yeah.
to do this physical part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was proud.
Enjoyment. Yeah. And how about any thoughts?
Want to be any other place?
I want this to happen again.
I wanted to write it down so I'd remember it.
Yeah.
I wanted to share it here, and now I can't.
That's your unpleasant event, right? Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
My
And,
thought was there was no other place I'd rather be. That's not-
Yeah, no place I'd rather be, yeah, and this is, yeah, no place, and so sometimes the thought is like just really about that gratitude or whatever, sometimes it's like, I want this to happen again, so we sort of move ourselves into the future when it's not. I remember being at a beautiful place and.
You're telling a story.
Yeah, I am, but I had the same thing, it's like, my thought was, I wish I had a camera.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm already there. But I'm like, yeah, so, why would I maybe ask you to not tell the story?
So I'm focused on emotions.
How was it to do it this way? I know you wanted to tell the story.
It was interesting to break it down.
My granddaughter was playing soccer, she got knocked out,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
got knocked up in the air.
Because, especially
So,
since
excuse me
both of
one
us,
sec, okay?
both of us said that our initial, physical feeling was exhaustion, tired.
Yes.
So we were able to get from that, because usually don't associate a pleasant event with being exhausted or tired.
Mhm.
So that was just an
Yeah.
interesting coincidence.
Yeah.
We're both glad we went where we went anyway. I
Yeah.
had to force myself to go, but ended up having a good time.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, when we let go of the story, there might be, and you used the word intimacy, and how did it feel like, that you actually were able to connect without telling the story? Yes, it sounds like it. And what happens sometimes when we do tell the story? What's that? I mean, we didn't do it today, but.
We
It's just
interrupt
too much
each other.
information, so you don't really appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe, you're right. It's like we can get involved with like
Yeah.
the narrative and then we're not with ourselves anymore. Not that it's bad to tell the story, I'm not advising that we can have to always communicate like this, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Or people might take things the wrong way.
Yes.
Like that thing that
Yes.
it's happy for you, they go, you're bragging. Or, they can have any kind of reaction to it, even though you didn't mean it that way.
Right.
You're just trying to share.
Yeah, and sometimes, yeah, right, and so telling the story, sometimes they're like, oh, let me tell you my story. Yeah, so all things, communication is very interesting, but there's a reason why we did this, to kind of want to contact with what's actually here. And one of the interesting things that I heard from you is that sometimes it's even within the pleasant, there can be like an unpleasant too. Like tired, fatigue, or wanting it to happen again. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. We're going to be unpacking unpleasant event next week. Okay. And similar to this time, I want you to please choose something teeny. Often we have like huge things going on in our life that we're really struggling with. And one of the reasons to choose something really small is that so that we can actually unpack it like in the same way we did here. With the very complex events with extended family and things like that, it's just a little bit harder to come into direct contact with these things. Not that those other things aren't very valid and probably very stressful, choosing a small thing. So we're going to, did you bring home practice sheets by any chance? So if you feel so inclined that you want to tell what your stories were, talk with your partner about what the event while we're passing out the home practice, okay? Yeah.
I was watching my grandson.
That's what I thought.
Did you think that? I presented that, no place I'd rather be in. I was holding something, was not a burden. So I enjoy every minute of it. He's 5 months old and he's great.
I was on a plane coming home from Chicago to here. The plane had been delayed by a lot.
You glad to get on it, get out.
I had the previous day, I had been in Lambeau Field in Green Bay.
At a football game?
The day before Thursday night football.
Okay.
Looking around, it was a tour of Lambeau.
Okay, great. That's interesting.
Yeah.
First time you were there?
Yeah, first
I
time.
bet you it's a wonderful experience.
It was pretty nice.
A lot of history there.
But not as nice as the next day here, I'm tired on the plane. Some young man is sitting next to me and he whips out his cell phone and it's got the Packers game.
There you go.
It was pretty good.
Thank you. You're a Packers fan? Or just a football fan?
I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, you can't be a bad, well, you know, there are people live here in
Yeah,
Dallas
yes,
fans
there
too.
are, yes.
We got trouble with those people.
There are a lot of Packers fans in Green Bay. Boy, they love their Packers.
And as well they should. There's a lot of history there.
The only other place I've ever been that has anything like that was in St. Louis, where they love their Cardinals.
They love their
They
Cardinals.
really do.
Yes,
We
they
love our
do.
Steelers here, but it wasn't the same to me. I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The Cardinal people, they travel too. Now, the Cardinal people, I went to the game in Pittsburgh, when the Pirates were doing well 5 or 6 years ago. Just some of these Cardinal fans were always. And Cardinal fans are a little different people. They're really.
Okay, so bringing your conversations to a close. I see some smiles, like maybe it was nice to share your pleasant event. It's like, and you know, the sense of bringing it back in, even then when we remember, it's like we're still experiencing something. So let's talk just a little bit about the home practice for this week. As you know, each week you come, I give you the home practice sheet, and so this is what we would request that you do. Knowing that sometimes, you know, maybe the recording gets turned off, but as best you can, continue to do body scan, alternating with one of the yogas. So the chair yoga is one of the recordings. I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 or whatever, but it says chair yoga. Mindful movement in a chair or something like that. 5C, okay. So either the lying down one or the chair yoga, alternating with continuing body scan. Can you also do a few minutes of the breathing, just the awareness of breathing, okay?
What does formal mean?
Well, so formal means like it's a meditation practice that actually kind of cultivates focused attention, that it really kind of helps us with bringing it into our lives. So we call it formal. It's like a foundational thing that helps create a foundation for mindfulness. And then the life practice of informal is like just noticing, you know, a couple of unpleasant events, writing about it. What actually happens in life. We're going to unpack it in a similar way that we did today. Because in our next coming up weeks, starting with the unpleasant event, we're going to start moving into the territory of what is stress and how do we work with it. How might these tools that you're learning be helpful? Okay, so this, yes?
You give an example, you said to choose a little unpleasant event.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see, a little unpleasant event, like for me, might be that there's construction going on in my street and I had to ask the noisy construction people to move their cars so that I could move my car. Or like you're stuck in traffic.
Nothing complex.
Not real complex, but I mean, if you do something complex, it might just be a little harder to break it down, so. Or, you know, the typical frustrations.
Yeah.
I'm late, or I was at my doctor's office and they made me wait for 40 minutes. You know, I was on time. You know, something.
Where were you?
What's that?
Is that little? When you're sitting there 40 minutes, it's not little.
Yeah, I know, during that, it's like big, right, when you're actually there, yeah.
Get rid of those.
Yeah, well, that gives you time to do your mindfulness practice.
There you go, breathing.
You do your breathing. It's like, all right, so it's like, I'm not gonna kill them, I'm not gonna kill them, just do my breathing, right. Yeah, and then, oh, you know, I forgot to ask you, did you practice bringing awareness to like a routine activity? Did you do some of that last week? What was it like?
Cooking and eating. I was pretty mindful of that cooking.
Oh, okay.
But I paid more attention than I usually do to eating. And I didn't do other things like be online or, well, that's what I usually do.
Yeah. How was it?
It was fine. I don't know that there's any particular advantage to it, but I didn't.
Did your food taste different?
No.
You can taste your food equally well when you're online?
Yes.
Oh, he's more talented than me. Usually when I'm reading or doing something else, I might not actually be as present with my food, but yeah, that's just me, but yeah. Thank you.
I've got one.
Yeah, please.
It's a little one.
Oh, yeah.
They do, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, I'm trying to not eat the high fructose corn syrup. And
Yes.
I like those Twizzlers, and I turned over the package, and it's high fructose corn syrup. So I went past it, right, and I was at Bible study, and the pastor was handing out one, and I said, I will take one. And I gobbled half, and I said, wait. And I saved the other half, and I said, I will mindfully eat the second half of this high fructose corn syrup. So I don't have to eat anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm satisfied that, because I had been saying, I denied myself saying, you can't have that because it's got bad
And
stuff.
it's in everything.
And it's everywhere. And so now I've had a half of one, and I'm very,
Wow.
very proud of myself.
But you actually enjoyed that half of it.
Right,
But
because
you're
I
there
was,
for it.
you know, you can feel the licorice and the sensation of it and everything. I had a great time.
Wow, that's great. Now, are we all gonna go out and get the?
Twisted that.
No, but it's a wonderful lesson though, it's like, if maybe we're trying to cut down on something, but it's like, we don't wanna like deprive ourselves, like, really eat a small amount of it and just really enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
It's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Wow.
Speaking of
Yes.
that, and
You
cooking,
meet Michelle Obama?
when I make pasta,
See,
I
it's on-
weigh
she's
out
on your back,
exactly
right?
2 ounces before I cook it, instead of making a whole
That's
box.
my daughter, but thank you.
Your daughter's
Oh, it's your
Michelle
daughter?
Obama?
Sweet.
Your
Those are
daughter's?
both my daughters, but thank you, thank you.
Oh.
I was gonna tell her what you said.
Yeah, she looks like
Your
her.
daughter is Michelle Obama. How nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness.
It's all the way across the room.
She is a woman.
Okay, well,
She is
we're
a
having
woman.
two different
Yes,
conversations
I
going
am.
on.
Oh, there you go.
So, do you mind if so we were having a conversation here about weighing out the pasta and knowing exactly what you're gonna do, sort of the planfulness. This is that's actually pretty mindful, you know, look, I've just stolen her bag, you know, but we were having a conversation over here about 2 beautiful daughters with mom, and one of them looks a lot like somebody quite famous. Yeah.
From across the room, it looked
Gorgeous.
exactly like Michelle.
Oh, I thought it was Michelle
3
Obama.
beautiful ladies.
Actually, Michelle's maiden name is Robinson, it's mine, so.
There you go. There's a resemblance, there,
Okay.
Obama.
So are there any questions about the home practice sheet that I just handed out? And I wanna thank you for the practice that you're doing. It does build upon, you know, it does build up to help us have more tools for meeting what's coming towards us in life. So please continue to do what you can, you know. If there aren't any other questions about it, let's just take a breath together and then we'll have a few minutes for any technical concerns. Are there any research announcements that?
Just a few announcements,
Okay,
but
so
nothing
we'll
major.
just have to take a breath together and then Sarah, I will collect them while Sarah starts her talk. Okay. So simply taking a moment to actually take in this breath and let it go. Maybe noticing how your body is feeling and noticing any mood or emotion that might be here. Maybe many. And in terms of the thinking mind and the thoughts and the committee members, maybe some of them have already left the room and others are still kind of chewing on some of the things that our conversations were about. And so just maybe letting yourself know that what's important will filter its way in. So we don't have to work hard to remember anything. What's important will probably stay with. So feeling this breath in, this breath out, perhaps mentally congratulating yourself for this work that you're doing. And hopefully everybody will be back next week with at least got the same rooms.
I'm sure you read the cartoon, the lady who wants to, I wanna live in the moment, but I'm moving at the beach. Not this
Not this moment.
I still can't see the old lady.
Oh, and somebody